Let me start this out by saying that if that's what you want to go with, my man, then you go with it. I have no problems with anybody going with what they want to go with, but we know that that is not what your book teaches. So let's look at the question here, or the statement rather. He said, there's nowhere in the covenant, which is the Ten Commandments. I did a video about how the Bible condones slavery. If it don't line up, throw it out. Remember, a lot was written by men. Now, from my understanding, those who believe in the Bible are supposed to believe that these are the words of God, inspired through men to be the words of God. And when we talk about the covenant, you want to stick to just the Ten Commandments, and you're saying if it doesn't line up. Well, how can the Ten Commandments cover things such as don't mix linen? It wouldn't cover that. That's why these extra laws were written. That's why Abraham had to have a different covenant. So what are we talking about here? You have over 600 different laws in the Bible, and you go through Leviticus and Judges, you'll see all of that. To which the verse that I talked about is in Leviticus 25, where it condones chattel slavery. I know you don't like it because it doesn't fit with the mode of today. You don't like it because you know that that slavery was encountered at the worst levels by people of color, especially those who came out of Africa and those in the Americas. So I get your distaste for it, but you cannot claim this book and yet you don't want to accept everything it says. People often say that I cherry pick different scriptures to make my point. Where did I learn this from? I learned it by going to church and watching people cherry pick different scriptures in order to make a point that fits into the culture of today. And by trying to separate the fact that in Leviticus 25, it says that you can take foreigners and make them your property and pass them down to your sons and daughters, that is what the book says. In the same way that the book also says in Leviticus that if a young maiden is raped by a man, the man, and he's caught, the man pays the father 50 pieces of silver, and then the daughter has to marry that man. You can say that it was culturally based because at that time frame, women were only considered as property, and therefore the girl has been spoiled, so the father won't be able to pawn her off on anybody else, and the father would have to then take care of her for the rest of his life. You can try to say that that was culturally based. And if you're saying that that's culturally based, then you would have to say the entire book is culturally based. You would have to say that the promise of Abraham to receive the land to which y'all claim would then be culturally based, because we are far, far, far from that covenant to which a lot of people claim, in which they're killing Palestinians for that reason.